But one of the first things that's confusing about the toolbox when you come to it as a new user is that there's lots of different variables in the different tools. So for example, in this climate tracker tool, you can look at maximum temperature, you can look at minimum temperature, you can look at some humidity, radiation, wind speed, you can look at last spring freeze date, growing degree days, vapor pressure deficit, heating degree, cooling degree days. You've got a whole bunch of drought metrics that you can look at. That's for the historical climate tracker. If instead you go to the ClimateMapper, in this case, your first selection is that you look at either past data, forecast data, or future projections. Once you do that, you can choose between some different impact areas. So climate, hydrology, fire danger. And when you make these selections, now the variables that you choose from are limited to just future projections and fire danger. So you see here, we only have 4 variables. If you chose agriculture, there's different variables. And so every tool has different variables in it because we have different summary layers that are prepared for the different tools, and it's not consistent between tools. And so that's something that's kind of confusing because you don't necessarily know if the variable that you're looking for is in the toolbox somewhere. And also it would be kind of nice. It's kind of nice to know what are all the variables that are available in the toolbox. And so what we did is we created a tool that is basically a variable lookup tool. And if you go back to the landing page for the Climate Toolbox, you'll see here that there's this blue Find Your Variable cloud. It is actually a lookup tool. And so if you click on it, you will see that we have this variable lookup tool that you can see all the variables that are in the toolbox somewhere. So if I click on wind speed, I get a list of tools that have the wind speed variable in it. So these are tools that can be used to look at wind speed, both either locally or on maps or on dashboards. For example, the freeze-free days, there's only 3 tools that have the freeze-free days in it. And also in this tool, it gives a quick definition. And sometimes it'll tell you some notes that'll help you to find it. So for example, freeze-free days in the ClimateMapper, you need to look under timescale, future projections, and then agriculture. So for example, if we go back to the ClimateMapper, we want to look under timescale is future projections, and impact area is agriculture, and then we see the freeze dates are there. So that's basically how you can use that Find Your Variable tool. And from this, you can click directly to go to those tools as well. So you can look on the ClimateMapper and launch the tools directly from there as well.